Hi, and welcome to yet another episode of Python Bonanza. I'm Joachim. Today we're going to talk about the string class join method and see what it is and how to use it. Yes, we got this question from Sam, who says that I see this join thing popping up all the time when I'm looking at websites and reading books about Python. What is it and when should I use it? Yes, so the join is a way for us to join together strings and actually have the possibility to insert things in between strings as well at the same time. So it might be a little bit odd, especially come from other programming languages, what it is and how it works, because it's not really obvious what it does when you see it the first time. So we will have a look at it and play around with it a little bit, and hopefully you will have a better understanding of what it is and how it works. So let's switch over to the editor and have a go at it. So the syntax for it is pretty straightforward, actually. It is a string, and sometimes you see it as an empty string, and sometimes you have something within it. But let's have something in it. Let's have a comma and a space. So this can be any string that we represent here. And then we have dot join. So with this, first of all, what this is an object from the string class. It's a string. And then we call a method up on it. So that's why we say dot join. And what goes in here is actually a sequence of some sort. And in between everything in the sequence, whatever we have here will be inserted. So if I just have a string here saying ABC, and then we catch this in a variable and print it, we will see that what it does now is it treats the string here as a sequence, and it will insert whatever I have here in between every item in that sequence. And the items in a string is the actual characters. So that is why we get this comma space inserted in between each item here. Now this can also be a list of things. So we have a list of strings. So if I have, let's have a list first, or any other kind of sequence. So that could be a tuple or whatever. So if I have a list of strings like this and print the result, we'll see. So again, you can see now it takes each item, and in this case each item is a string. So that's why this item comes and that item, that, and we will have whatever we have here inserted in between them. So this could be a dash, and we will get that, or we can just concatenate them together by having this empty string here. So now we just concatenate them. So instead of doing this plus this plus this plus this, we will get them concatenated into one string without anything in between. So that is basically what join does. So it takes a sequence that it can be turned into a string. It must be something that can be turned into strings, and concatenate them together, and we have the option to have something inserted in between each item. So basically that is what we have. Now sometimes you will see something like this. So maybe we have a sequence here. Let's say we have a list of names, and let's say they are all in lowercase. something like this. So sometimes what you will see in here is a comprehension. So we can have that here. So we can say for name in names. So we go through this sequence name by name, and then we on this end want maybe to do some sort of transformation. So maybe we say name title, like that. And then let's have that again, and let's run it. And we can see that we get the names comma separated with a capital initial letter on each. So if you don't really understand comprehensions, you can go ahead and look at last week's episode, and I will give a link in the description to that one, where we talk about comprehensions and how they work. So quite often you see comprehensions here producing the actual items for the input here. So that will be a sequence. As you can see here, we don't need to transform this into something. So for a comprehension, for example, if we want a list comprehension, we usually do something like this, but that is not necessary when we pass it to join. We can just pass it as the argument to join the whole comprehension. So we don't need to surround it with anything special. So basically, that is what the join method will do for us. So join will just take any sequence that can be represented as strings and join them together, and we have the option, if we want something inserted, we can do it in this part, and sometimes we don't want to have anything inserted, then we just leave this empty. So an empty string here, don't insert anything in between the strings. And actually this is more efficient to do it with join than to do it with the plus operator. So if I have something like this, new names, or we can call it names string, something like that, names str. So I could say something like John plus Anna, and so on. So or have variables here and just concatenate them together. So using join is more efficient way to do this. So that is what join is. So join strings together and give us the option to have something inserted in between them. So that was all for today, and thank you for watching. And if you like this, show it, and please subscribe so you don't miss out on new episodes. So see you again next week for more interesting things on Python.